Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasul Kareem. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Inspired by Quran course. The Quran is the most influential and the most powerful and most impactful book in human history. Through the Quran and the Prophet ﷺ and the community that was built, the whole world changed. You hear about the House of Learning in Baghdad, Qarawiyun, the first university in Islam, Azhar, you hear the libraries in Cordoba and Seville. All of this was from the inspiration of Quran. The Quran is a gift for us so that we build our lives, our families, our communities, and the whole ummah. Throughout human history, different influences came. But the spiritual influence of the Quran, no doubt, in a spiritual and political sense, made a whole community that the world hasn't seen. This is why Allah says, "Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas." You are amongst the best nations that came to mankind. In this video, we're going to explore how the Quran is the most powerful book to ever exist. Number 2, why we need the Quran in our life. And number 3, and most importantly, how we can befriend and renew a friendship with the Quran so that it can be a constant guidance and inspiration for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran very beautifully says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَوَاقِعِ النُّجُومِ وَإِنَّهُ لَقَسَمٌ لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عَظِيمٌ إِنَّهُ لَقُرْآنٌ كَرِيمٌ فِي كِتَابٍ مَكْنُونٍ لَا يَمَسُّهُ إِلَّا الْمُطَهَّرُونَ تنزيل من رب العالمين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and I swear by the positions of the stars. And certainly this is an oath which is very great indeed. Imagine the whole universe, all of the stars. This sun alone, they say 100 Earths can fit in it. And the sun is like a baby star compared to the other stars in the galaxy. So Allah is swearing by those stars and the positions because we see a starry night and we see all the constellations. So here then Allah, what does He say? إِنَّهُ لَقُرْآنٌ كَرِيمٌ. Certainly this Quran is very noble. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you this Quran is not some ordinary book. I'm swearing by great creations that in comparison you're specks of dust with. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding us, there's two tafsirs here, that not only every single ayah, just like the starry night, we look at the Big Dipper, we look at this and that. In the same way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put every single ayah in a different way. And secondly, the heavenly Quran is not only Lawh Mahfuz in the preserved tablet in the Arsh, but it has a heavenly position on the last sky in this universe, but we can't see it. If we could see it, we wouldn't stop reading, reciting, studying, discussing this Quran just like we would study anything else, and we do. So this is a special book that we need to put special effort towards. And Allah also says in the Quran, chapter number 17, verse 107 to 109, He says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم قل آمنوا به أو لا تؤمنوا إن الذين أوتوا العلم من قبله إذا يتلى عليهم يخرون للأذقان سجدا ويقولون سبحان ربنا إن كان وعد ربنا لمفعولا ويخرون للأذقان يبكون ويزيدهم خشوعا. Allah basically says, O Prophet ﷺ, say to them, believe or don't believe. Meaning it doesn't matter to Allah. It's for your own benefit that you're being called to this revelation, to this pure life, and towards Jannah ultimately. Those who were given knowledge beforehand, meaning those who had revelation, the Jews and Christians, when they hear this revelation, what response do they give? يَخِرُّونَ لِلْأَذْقَانِ سُجَّدًا. They are so inspired by this revelation that they fall in prostration, in humility. And they say, Subhana Rabbina, glorified are you, perfect and free from all imperfection are you. In kana wa'du Rabbina la maf'ula. Certainly your promise is true and you're going to fulfill it. You always fulfill it. La maf'ula. And then what do they say? And what do? When they fall on their faces, they're in tears. And it increases their khushu', their awe and humility and fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the response that we need to have when we listen to these verses. These are not some normal words of some human. These are not even the words of our blessed Prophet ﷺ. These are the words of Allah that He sent the Prophet ﷺ to deliver to all of us. So it goes to show that we have to value these words, study these words, and explore it further and befriend it so that it becomes a daily source of guidance for our lives. In this regard, inshallah ta'ala, this course will be broken down into 3 sections. Number one, the section will be on direction. Ultimately, our core beliefs that the Quran guides us towards, certain stories in the Quran that are mentioned, and then we'll go into the practice, right? What does Islam call towards do's and don'ts? What is ihsan and excellence, etc., etc. And lastly, we're going to talk about the mission that Islam and the Quran calls us towards, how we have to spread this Quran in society, and the different domains we should attempt to spread the light that this Quran and the Prophet ﷺ's way is, inshallah ta'ala. I'd like to end with the beautiful dua of the Prophet ﷺ, where he says, "Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make the Quran the springtime of my heart. Make it the illuminator or the light of my chest. Make it the remover of my sadnesses, and make it the pacifier of my worries." What is he asking for? He's asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this glorious book that was revealed on his heart a literal springtime, a spiritual food that he can constantly eat, a garden that he can actually benefit from. Just like in springtime, the rain, the sunlight makes all of the flowers, the fruits, all of the animals, all of the vegetation come. So in the same way, the Quran, when it's revealed in a pure heart and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts, the whole heart and the whole soul becomes a garden. And it's filled with light. And all of what may worry you of the tensions of the dunya or the akhirah, they become removed. You are in a spiritual plane. So Rasulullah ﷺ is asking for this. He lived this. He recited the Quran for hours at night, and he lived it by day. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded us through Rasulullah ﷺ and his character how to live the Quran. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you with the guidance of the Quran. Inshallah, continue this beautiful course. I hope to see you in the next videos, and we will explore more of the beauty and the light and the reliever of worries and sadness and the springtime that the Quran is. Jazakallah khair wa salaamu alaykum.